Okay, guys, you guys are going to like this dude. He's an Emmy award-winning sportscaster. He's now on Live at the Bike. He's a poker commentator. He's also an award-winning magician at Hollywood's Magic Castle. He's a professional poker player. You can follow him on Twitter at MaJason. And guess what? He is the most comfortable comedian in the business. Give it up! Very funny guy, Jason Harrell, everybody! Jason Harrell!
Grizzly bears have been clocked at an amazing speed of 41 miles per hour, which is almost as fast as the fastest horse on the planet. It's not funny, but at least when you go home tonight, you can say, I learned something. Now, why would you need to know something like that? Well, allow me to educate you baby birds. See, if you were ever out in the wilderness and you see a grizzly bear just coming at you, you don't have to be faster than a grizzly bear. You just have to be faster than your friend. And then you'll be safe, right? Now see, I bring that up because I hate the great outdoors. I'm like the most non-green person there is. Like if I could drive like a tank, I would. Because I just don't like the whole Prius and like gluten-free and things like that. It just drives me crazy. You know, my diet consists of 2 cookies in the morning, a whatchamacallit at the afternoon, and then I like to get all my vegetables in with some potato skins and maybe some spinach too. That's how you can have a figure just like this. And see, what's interesting is I know a lot of people are looking at me and sitting there saying, why is this guy wearing a head-to-toe velour outfit? Before I get into that answer, I just want to say that I think it's interesting that they put the 2 black comedians first in the lineup. I know a lot of you are sitting there saying, but he's white. No, I'm not white. I'm actually clear. And the reason why I'm clear is because I was always confused growing up. I grew up in South Central just like the comedian before us. South Central, just south of Raleigh, North Carolina. And my mother's British, my father looks like a Hasidic Jew, and they're both 5'6". Something's missing in the gene pool because I'm the tallest person of the Harrell clan. And what's interesting is I go to my high school, and there are not one single white Harrell that went to high school with me. However, there are 35 black Harrells in my high school. I kid you not. So I come home to high school and I say, Dad, this isn't adding up. I'm only child and the only white Harrell in North Carolina, where there's like white people are everywhere, And he was like, well, I think you need to take a seat. It's time to learn about your family history. So I'm like, well, I know you're not black. Because you're not. My mom's a ghost. I mean, she's British, for Christ's sake. So he sits there and he's like, your great-grandfather, when he passed away, left us a little gift. And I was like, well, what's this gift? Because I'm driving a freaking 92 Red Cavalier in high school. That's not a cool car. Like, we didn't get a good, return on our inheritance. He's like, when he goes, and the whole family's gathered around, and there's this one sole old black lady sitting in the corner. Nobody knows who she is. And so the lawyer's reading out the estate, and she goes, half of this and this and this to this family. And Miss Harrell, and my grandmother stands up. No. The other Miss Harrell, and the black lady stands up, and she gets half of my great-grandfather's estate. Turns out that my grandfather had 10 children with this woman, and was married to her, and nobody knew about it. So obviously, somewhere along the gene line, it came into play. Now, it's interesting too because, like, everything about me is kind of black. I mean, for reals. Like, I know that some of you are being uncomfortable, and I don't really care. I'm going to tell my joke anyway. Because here's the deal. I play basketball, and I'm not a good shooter. I'm a terrible dribbler, but I can jump out the gym, right? I love rap music. I cannot stand Nirvana. Everybody when I was in high school was like, oh man, Nirvana's so great. And I'm like, did you not hear Doggy Style and The Chronic? This shit is awesome. Like, I can't wait till I'm like 90 years old. God willing, if I ever live that long. And I'm like, you know, old people like, oh hey, listen to what we used to listen to. You know, it's like, ain't nothing but a G-thing, baby. It's like, Grandpa, you listen to this? It's like, hell yeah. And then when my obituary comes out, it's going to be so awesome. Because, you know, like, 90-year-old is like, died of, you know, whatever. It's like, you died because you're old. You didn't die because of cancer or anything. You're 90 years old. Mine's going to be awesome. It's like, Jason Harrell, 90 years old, killed in an auto accident when he flipped his bed going 95 on 405 freeway. Like, that's how you want to go. Can you imagine, like, your great-grandchild just being like, whoa, my grandfather just died. It's like, oh, that's so sad. How'd he do it? Flipped his bed. Just, yeah, totally ate it. Like, that's the kind of legacy I want to leave for whatever children I have, or whenever I find out that I do have those children down the road. You know, with that said, I'm single, and I did something that I've never done as a single man, and I registered for an adult website. So proud of this. Because what's interesting is like if you've ever gone, and everyone that's kind of like being there like, oh my God, this guy looks at adult websites. Like, we've all done it, right? Like, everybody's curious. Everybody's clicked on the wrong link. Case in point, now we're at my story. Click on the wrong link, it comes right up to the pay page. I'm like, perfect, boom, 60 plus milfs. I'm registered on that website. Now, if you've ever had some discrepancy with an internet charge, try calling customer service, because that's a treat. Because I sit there and I call up and I'm like, look, I clicked the wrong thing, you gotta take this off. And they're like, well, that's great, Mr. Harrell, but we have you logged on for 10 hours last night, and you're gonna have to pay for it. And it's like, that's not fair, I thought it was the wrong website. And it's like, you didn't notice when the woman was coming up with a rocker that it wasn't the website you were going for? And I was like, I thought it was a theme piece, you know, rocking and rolling through the ages, something like that, I don't know. No, I don't like, I don't prefer 60-year-old women. 60-year-old women are awesome. I prefer women with suitcases. That's what I really look for in a woman. So that I know that I don't have to really have a relationship with them. I go out the other night, and like, you think that this is like an act. Like, I actually wear velour when I go out in public. Like, I'm not playing. Like, this is the most comfortable outfit. And it's not cheap. This was a $300 suit. And people were like, why don't you dress up? It's a suit. It ain't made out of, you know, polyester or whatever, but this is a comfortable material. So I go to this wonderful nightclub called Sharky's in Hermosa Beach. And of course I dressed up. And I go up and it's like, hey bro, can't wear sweats in here, man. I'm like, hey brah, it's not sweats, it's velour. And he's like, well, you know, can't wear like sports track clothing. I'm like, are you profiling me? Like, who are you trying to keep out on a Monday night? Racism, man. It's terrible. Had to deal with it my whole life. So he's like, you know what, man? I'm gonna let you slide, man. Go have a good time. I was like, cool. And then my buddy's like already in, laughing his ass off at me, like, I told you not to wear that shit, man. And I'm like, what am I gonna wear? Like, I don't have anything except pajamas. So I go in and like, I'm like 2 steps from this, you know, cool bouncer guy, and he's like just staring me down, and I was like, fuck it, man. My suit's worth more than anyone else's outfits in here. And he's like, what you trying to do, bro? You trying to be cool? You trying to be cool on me? And I'm like, he's like, you know what, just get out. You ain't down for this party. So I was like, look, man, all right, you got me. I'm not gonna try and get all ghetto on you. No, I left my nunchucks at home, so I can't really step up to you. But I go in and I meet this chick who's just enthralled with the fact that I could actually wear velour. And that's what's amazing, guys. Don't get dressed up. Like, wear something like this, because chicks will just come up to you and be like, wow, you're actually wearing that? And it's like, yeah. And they're like, you're interesting. You're creative. I'm like, I know. So I pull my moves like I do, and I take her back to her place. She just turns into like this weird chick. I mean, obviously she's got to be weird. She's taking home a guy on velour. But I walk into her place, and she's got like this little rat dog. But that didn't bother me. I'm cool with the dog. It's the voice that came out of this creature. And it's like, who's been a naughty little baby? And it's like, what? You're just totally killing my mood here. Like, I mean, you know, unless you're getting naked right now, I gotta go. Like, I don't have time for this. You know, and one day, I'm sure I'll find a girl with velour that's able to run 40 miles an hour, not 42 like I can, so that she'll be the one that gets eaten by the grizzly bear. Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for the rest of the comedians. They're gonna be great.
Keep it going. Keep it going. No, that's my song. That's my song. It reminds me of prom. That song reminds me of prom. Yeah. No, I went to prom back in '88.